What's up, guys? Doc Ito here with your Alita update. The doctor is in. Today we are talking about the box office numbers. We are now over 400 million permanently. Great job, everyone. We get to cross it twice. We're talking about why 400 million matters, because even though it is just a million here or there to get above the threshold, I think it does matter. And then I'm going to do a deep dive into the numbers, trying to explain what happened with this $1 million correction from last week. As you'll see, it's a little complicated, but first, the reminders. Head on over to change.org to vote in the petition for the sequel. We are over 9,000 signatures, so great job, everyone. Only getting a few votes on the poll now daily, so we won't be talking about it too much longer, but I do want to make sure that everyone has voted on the IMDb page. I'm logged out now, but I did give the movie a 10, so make sure to log into IMDb and vote for the movie. It's currently at a 7.6, which is great, but let's see if we can get it higher. Of course, vote your honest opinion on the movie. And remember to do the same on Metacritic, where it's at an 8.7 user reviews. We know the Rotten Tomatoes is around 94-95%. Remember to keep supporting the movie as best we can on social media and through these votes. The social media accounts are still quiet for the movie, so we're the ones that have to speak up. And remember to like and subscribe to the channel so that Doc Ito can keep bringing these free repairs. The links to the petition and everything else are found below. We will not be silent. We do not stand by in the presence of evil. The media does not want us to talk about the movie. They say the less said about Alita, Battle Angel, the better. Well, no. We're going to talk, we're going to spread the news, and we are going to fight for this movie. So let's talk a little bit about why 400 million matters. I read a comment yesterday that it doesn't really matter, a million here or there at this stage doesn't make a huge difference. And while yes, a number of 400 million versus 399 million isn't going to make a huge difference in the final financial numbers for this movie, it does matter a great deal for public perception. And honestly, public perception does matter a lot. That's why there has been a undercurrent in the media against this movie. That's why it got bad critic reviews, so people wouldn't go to the movie. That's why the projections were so low for the movie to start with, so that people would think it would be a bomb and again wouldn't want to go. We have proven these critics wrong. However, the fight still continues. And the 400 number subconsciously makes someone that doesn't know about this movie think that the movie made between 400 million and 500 million. If it stopped at 398, people would subconsciously think it was somewhere between 300 million and 399 million, because that's how our brain works. That's why products are $9.99. They never give you a full price. They never charge you $10 for something. That's why a gaming console is $299. It's not 300 flat, because subconsciously we are humans and we associate big numbers. We don't think about the details. So having the movie be over 400, when someone reads a news article about the movie, subconsciously they will associate it between 4 and 500 and think this is a pretty successful movie. It's a blockbuster. If it's under, they will think, oh, it only made about 300. Okay, not so great. And that will subconsciously affect their thoughts about seeing the movie through a rental or through streaming. It does matter, and every million we can get higher is going to make it much better. And I do find it interesting that even before we reached the milestone, they were already diminishing it. It may top 400 million, but it's finished after an admittedly arbitrary milestone. So even they know 400 is important. That's why they are trying to diminish it beforehand. And that's why articles arguing that 400 isn't enough does hurt us, because it creates a narrative where even 400 is looked down upon. So let's look at the numbers. As we talked about, the movie lost over half of its theaters. It's now only at 676. But if you look at the amount per theater compared to last week at 318, it actually made more at 333. So the movie is actually making more per theater compared to last week than it did before. And that's a great sign, because hopefully movie theaters see this and they keep it in theaters going forward, seeing that we are putting our butts in their seats and wanting to watch this movie. So a 500,000 weekend was actually pretty good. It's about a 50 to 55% drop, which, given that half of the theaters disappeared, is really not bad. I initially thought we were going to be around 600,000 for the weekend, but after the loss of theaters and the weaker Friday, I thought we would be about 450. So a 500 actually means we did quite well on Saturday and Sunday. In China, after a $17,400 Friday, it actually made around $50,000 both Sunday and Saturday, which was very good for about a $122,000 weekend. For this past week, we made about 1.1 million in the US, a 43% drop, which isn't bad. In China, about 280,000 only, which is a significant drop. The rest of the world probably around 1.3 million, but this is complicated, as we'll get into, for a total of about 2.7 million. In total, we're at 84.9 in the US, about 133 million in China, and 402.6. Let's dive into this correction last week that brought us under 400. These are the weekly numbers from China over March. And you saw we went from 14 million to 4 to 1 to just 280,000 last week, about 70% drops each time. When we look at the foreign numbers, ignoring the $1 million correction, we would have been 26, 8, 4, and 2. So this would be a 70, 50, and 60% drop, which is possible. When we add in this $1 million correction that dropped us down last week, then the numbers don't really make sense. 26, 8, 2.8, 2.6 makes no sense. So they're saying that we only made 2.8 million last week and then we made 2.6 million this week. Absolutely bonkers. Movies don't drop only 7% from one week to the next. We usually get at least 50%, sometimes less, but 7% is not consistent at all, and I don't believe these numbers. I tried to figure out how this could be possible. I took in these $2 million from France that maybe we're missing. If you add those back in, it could potentially make sense. But I don't think that's actually the case, because Deadline reports that Alita made $747,000 international this weekend. So a $747,000 weekend is much more consistent with 1.6 million week than the potential 0.6. And that's actually good news, because if it is still making 1.6 million, it still has some legs and is going to make more money going forward. So overall, it seems to me that this $1 million decrease last week that took us under 400 million really doesn't make sense. The numbers don't seem consistent with it. The numbers are behaving as if that didn't even happen. I think it was a glitch somehow on the Box Office Mojo website, and it was unfortunate because of the media optics of going under 400 million, but the numbers are behaving just like if it didn't even happen. I think we'll reach about 86.1 million in the US, 133.2 in China, and if the foreign numbers keep going, we should be able to break 404. But if there are more legs, hopefully we get even higher than this. 405 would be a great number. So let's keep fighting for Alita, keep supporting the movie. We do not stand by in the presence of evil. Remember to like and subscribe, and check out the links below to support the movie. We will talk to you soon, and you all have a great day. Doc out.